Hello, everyone, and welcome to another fabulous episode of Every Day's a Train Wreck with Marley Major, your conductress. And as usual, I have a fabulous guest for you today, Laura Maloney. And Laura is not only one of my closest friends, but she originally started like as a client, but not even as a client, really, as like the ex-husband's boss's wife that like I met and was scared of. And then it's like probably been like 25 years later. I don't know. Here we are, maybe even more. And so we're going to have a fun time today because I'm going to flip the script on Laura and we're going to talk about what makes a great event. Plus, of course, all of our usual shenanigans. So please welcome Laura Maloney to the show. Hi, Miss Laura.
Hi, Marley. I'm so excited to see you. It's been a little while since we've actually did a face-to-face.
Well, yeah, since you broke your shoulder and your pelvis and I didn't break my shoulder.
I broke my hip.
Oh,
and
your hip.
You broke your back. So,
yeah.
It's...
I mean, we're just broken. And well, the two things that you have to understand about Laura and the Laura and Marley show is that A, there's always something going on to laugh hysterically about, even if it shouldn't be funny.
Or cry.
And B, Mercury is always in retrograde. Okay, so.
Oh my God.
Always.
And Leopard is my neutral.
And Leopard is her neutral, therefore it is my neutral. And today I have like my jungle print in the background where a leopard could be jumping out at any time. So. There you go on that one. So, Miss Laura, give us a little bit about your background because there's so much, but I'm going to let you give the highlights that you would like to give.
Okay, well, good. Thank you. Yeah, I guess, listening to your podcast over the past month or whatever you've been doing, and it's been so fun. And I'm like, why does she want me? Okay,
desperate
why?
To have you.
Why are you so desperate? Because clearly you have a plethora of amazing people that you interview that are so successful and so interesting, and it's so fun to hear everybody. So I'm like, I don't know.
That's why I want to have you.
Get the normal, girl that's done nothing really.
Okay.
Come on.
There you go. Okay.
So, I got very fortunate to marry Mandiego, right?
Okay. That is a very important distinction because one thing I'm just realizing, just talking to you right now, is Laura's husband, Mandiego, is literally was named like Mandiego, like Mr.
He was
Hot,
like the OG.
The OG.
One of the,
Like the cover of San Diego magazine, I am man, hear me roar, like I'm going to sell my sperm kind of thing, donation because the guy is that hot. Okay. Now, what's making me laugh right now is that you guys have heard me talk about when we have Crazy Viola, the Crystal and Reiki girl, you guys have heard me talk about Viola's hot husband. And what I'm realizing is maybe I just interview people with hot husbands. I mean, I don't know, which is a little bit frightening because, we have had scenarios, Laura, where we've had to take care of, send a few bad ill wishes to, I'm going to change the exercise routine, but we'll just say yoga instructors, who we had to send bad juju to. Hello, Mandiego, behave.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about her.
Right. Remember
Pilates
where I was
chick.
Cursing her?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You said it. Okay, not me. I switched it to yoga, and then you just said Pilates. So whatever. I'm happy to out her and go find her and really finish the job.
Years. I'm sure she's long gone.
I doubt it. So anyway, that is how hot Laura's husband is. Okay, so Laura marries Mandiego. And how long ago is that? Because it is
30 years. Yeah, we had 30 years last October. So all it is I don't know. It's crazy, right? But yeah, and then yesterday he got hit. Hit in the face with a polo ball.
Okay, yeah. So Laura, because if you guys are listening just to the podcast and the audio, Laura's making a giant kind of softball at the side of her face. I'm going to say that's just like God leveling the playing field slightly. Okay, for this gentleman who is just like perfection. But the other crazy thing is that if you guys haven't seen that series Polo that Meghan Markle did in Prince Harry, it is basically it's like Florida version of Laura and Mandiego's life. Kind of,
but so cringe.
But listen, okay, there's no question it's so cringe, all right? But for people to get the context of it is a fabulous life that is very hard in the sense of hard work. When I was watching that polo, I kept thinking of you and Chris constantly throughout it. First of all, you both are the nicest people on the planet. So not in any weird way like that, but just from the sense of how dangerous it truly is. It is so dangerous. And it looks glamorous and fabulous. I mean, me doing your party is always ecstatic because, you know, these grooms and these versions of the people in polo shop were
hot Argentines.
Sweet Jesus, like where I'm ready to move.
Okay,
and
pause. Can I just say pause for a minute?
Yes.
Do you remember when we did the space party?
Yes.
And do you remember who came as like Superman? No, it was Batman and Spider-Man. They came dressed like these Argentine hot guys. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Hysterical.
Okay. Which is going to go to another point about like how to have a great party, which
let's talk about parties.
Well, no, not yet. Pause. Again, we are, and it's so funny because as this gets turned into the podcast, the real like smart team behind it, they're going to literally think they're supposed to be pausing, but hopefully they know they're not really pausing. Okay, so we're going to get to that in 1 second about what makes an amazing party, and because Laura definitely has the secrets, but it is all about having varied people. I mean, that's what makes the magic. But I would like to go on the record as saying, if you learn nothing from this episode, please learn, yes, Argentines are as hot as they damn look on television. I don't care coast to coast. I don't know what these people do. And I've been to Argentina many times, and it's also true there. Okay. So Mandiego, let's go back to the piece. So you marry Mandiego. He's super successful. What would you say at that point 30 years ago? Tech guy?
Oh, yeah, tech guy.
Because we have to tie
911. It's 911 software system. So it's a little life or death, for sure.
Just a little light.
You know, remember when Y2K was happening and everybody was all nervous because maybe the systems would go down and the computers would not work and whatever. So it was just another day.
But they didn't go down.
They didn't go down. No.
Mandiego sold the company.
Saved the day.
And Mandiego saved the day. Now, we are going to segue back to that also because I'm going to say, which Laura knows and doesn't necessarily agree with, that I really sold the company due to the fact that we Feng Shui the first time. Well, hey, listen, there's a first time for everything.
100%, my friend.
Let's, as usual, I have friends because, as you know, I am currently between husbands, and I have friends who are very happily married, evidently very happily married to hot husbands. Okay, but these husbands can deal with me as their wives' friends on the periphery. They sort of know what goes on. It's shenanigans. They don't think we've got, strippers and blow, but they know there's shenanigans. Okay, so one day we are talking about how we want to get this company sold, and obviously we want to get it sold for the best amount we can. So enter Feng Shui naturally, because to me, Feng Shui and Mercury, it's just around us constantly. So I'm saying, now there's another crazy wife friend of ours, God bless it, Mary, who needs to be the next guest. Okay, then we got a couple other ones on there. Then we've got Margaret. Now, Margaret is the hot wife of the cheeky husband. Okay, let's just say that her husband is very much the tech gentleman, okay, of the whole thing. Then we have, so when you're giving the sign of 3, are you thinking the next one is then going to be Julie? Or are you thinking, Julie, who was single in La Jolla for a very long time. No one knew how. Long blonde hair fabulosity, and then gets snatched up and marries the hot dog king, right? Oscar Mayer Wiener man, which I do that wedding. Thank you. That was also amazing. But
amazing.
Thank you. Okay. So, but all of us collude that.
And Deborah Dalton.
Oh my, Deborah. Do we know where Deborah is?
I think she's on the East Coast selling gems.
Gems. Oh, she'd be perfect. We got to introduce her to Viola. Okay.
Yeah.
So we have this gaggle. Now, mind you, at the time, we go back to how I met Laura, but my CFO ex-husband at the time is working for Mandiego, right? So I get introduced, and basically the net is I get on with them like a house on fire. Okay. And pretty much like having a sleepover ever since. All right. But this goes through before the marriage, during the marriage, after the marriage, the whole 9. All right. So I am like okay, well, Chris wants to get the most for this company. I mean, obviously, this is a Feng Shui situation. Well, Chris was having no part of Feng Shui freaking anything. Okay. And he is a real businessman with a real brain. But I was like, too bad. Right. So we decide with Laura's permission to enter the building one night, and we decide we're going to stage a Feng Shui intervention. So we have our miner's lights. Okay. Keep going.
Operation Triteki Freedom.
Operation Triteki Freedom. Mm-hmm. That's the right.
Because
Tritech was the company we were trying to sell.
We were definitely in camo.
Yep.
We arrived in style in a limousine.
Yes, we did. 100%.
We had headlamps.
Yes. Now, can you pause just one more? You had keys to the building and the alarm code. So my first question for you is, do you recall why we had the headlamps? Like, did we think we couldn't turn the lights on in the building due to security? I'm assuming
the whole reason was to be stealth.
There's nothing stealth about us, by the way.
We were sneaking in. We might have had a little champagne in the limo.
Just a little tiny bit.
We had our go orders.
Forgot about
and that. Julie really, and you, Julie, and Deborah were like, you guys, here's what we're doing. And Margaret, Mary, and I were just giggling.
Giggling along. Okay. Well,
and
that's okay.
So we had our red duct tape.
Yes. Yes, indeed.
And Chris will tell you right now that when they moved out of that office, they were still finding red duct tape.
Okay. So on the duct tape situation, so we went in with our kit, right? And one of the things in Feng Shui, now mind you, I'm no Feng Shui expert. I thought I was at the time, but somebody is no need to put in the hate comments that I don't know anything about Feng Shui, because I'm sure I don't, but thus the name of the podcast. So
hey, it worked. Don't knock it.
Okay. Well, believe me. So we took the duct tape and we went to like all the pipes in the sink, because I was like, well, we're going to wrap all the pipes red. And then we had this whole little schedule. You can imagine though, there are plenty of pipes. So we're wrapping this stuff. At some point, I don't know if we ran out of duct tape or some of the tape that I brought was like red electrical tape and it wasn't quite adhering. It's because I do remember something about before even the end of the night, some of it was already unraveling.
This is a big building. I mean, it's a huge building. And then I remember Mary and I were in Chris's office and I'm like, okay, this office is not right. It's not set up right. Right. And she got so mad that I could dare to change anything in Chris's office. And I'm like, I'm doing it. What's the worst that could have happened?
So Mary's married to, so of course, one of the guys in the company, but Chris is the big boss and everybody should 100% be scared.
They were partners.
Well, okay. Yeah, I get it. But I mean, let's face it. If Chris said go, I mean, it's go time. So, but Laura, and then I remember that I was like, oh, well, of course she can't. Now, this says to the girl who hasn't been successfully married ever. It's like, why not move just everything around? So the office gets Feng Shui because we're like, it goes down from the top, right? And then the career section of the Bagua, and then all this stuff. Okay, so now keep going.
And then we buried the statue.
Okay. So then, I'm not sure if this is Bagua-ness, but I'm Catholic, and we, when we need to get something done and sold and basically.
Oh, so that has nothing to do with Feng Shui? That was just an add-on.
I'm pretty sure that was my own little salt and pepper, on the stick. So
do we even know what year this is?
It is a very
2008, 2007?
Yeah. Probably like 2007, I'm going to say. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And so we have the St. Joseph statue, and you have to, I think it's just Catholicism. Maybe it's other religions too. I don't know. I mean, I just adapt what's practical. And you have to take the St. Joseph statue and you have to bury it upside down on the property. So we go outside to bury this freaking statue, right? And one thing I remember is wasn't the dirt kind of hard or something?
Yeah.
And I just remember thinking,
we didn't have the right shovel.
Right. Of all the tape we have and the miner's lights. And by the way, when Laura's saying we're trying to be stealth, I came across a photo where I was in a reflective jacket. I mean, you could see me from Elon Musk could have seen me. Okay. So now we're out there in the back trying to bury this thing. Everybody's fairly buzzed, drunk, really. burying this thing. Laura's husband's now office has been completely re-feng shuied. The dirt is too, and these girls are manicured, for the most part till the cows come home. So, getting that into but we got it in there. I don't think he was very deep, but he did. I was like, come hell or high water, this man is going to be head down in this freaking flipping dirt if I have to get the limo driver to, create some kind of hole, right? And so we get him in there. He's upside down. We're on fire with ourselves. Okay, so now you continue with the rest of the story.
Well, it was successful.
Okay, but what happened? We go back and Chris... So then let's talk about when Chris gets back to the office.
He had no way. He didn't really know what was going on. I don't know how he didn't know, but he didn't really know.
Yeah. So he probably just thought this couldn't be that big a deal.
Because I think we were good about keeping it on the DL. I mean, we were like, okay.
Yeah. And he's probably
thinking, for a good night.
Yeah. He's probably thinking there's not a chance in hell this is actually going to be a successful start to finish operation with gear and music and statues and everything. Okay, so
right.
Do you have any idea when the first time? Well, he must have noticed his office was moved. No.
Yeah, he was okay with it.
He didn't even care.
And he was like, "Yeah,
okay, that's better." Now, do you have any idea when he noticed the tape?
Yes, he noticed the tape right away, all the time.
Okay, so did he say, Laura? Did he know it was you? What happened?
You guys are crazy.
Oh,
you guys are, we got this is crazy. There's tape everywhere. People are wondering and asking me why there's red tape everywhere. so, we kind of got a little flustered, I guess you would say there.
Okay. But then the company, let's say, the reason that we all go on to be very successful with parties and polos is because the company does sell. And you know, right? So St. Joseph delivered, Marley delivered as usual, and we go on from there. So now let's fast forward a bit. You and we continued our parties. You bring me on to have parties with you and Chris for your birthdays and with the polo community, all kinds of stuff. So let's talk a little bit about that because there have been all kinds of different shenanigans.
I think I just wanted to say that when I literally had no idea how a party should go. Okay. You helped and created the most amazing parties from small to large to all in between. And it's a collaboration, right? You're so professional that it doesn't matter that we're besties.
No,
you're professional.
Right.
So it's always been a beautiful thing to have you create these parties for us.
Well, thank you. Now, one note on that, because that's because we do want to have people have tips. I think a lot of times people think either the client is just telling the planner, we're going to do this, this, and this, or the planner is just saying to the client, this is how it needs to go. But I really do think the secret is in exactly what you said, which is the collaboration component.
Right. Well, you're a good listener. And also, you listen to what your client, like Chris and I both are going to have different opinions. So you have to leave that fine line between, husband and wife.
Right.
And
that's another really good point too, is kind of because so many times when I've been interviewed, people will say, what makes a great party? What are the key things? Or what makes parties really difficult? And, one of the things I'll always say is when you have more than one decision maker, meaning the manager has one thing they want to accomplish. The publicist wants to accomplish another thing. The lawyer is like, let's accomplish nothing and not even have a party because there's too much risk. Right.
Mm-hmm.
But so you add the component of husband and wife, but that to me, that's like the alchemy that forces the best product, because what happens is I take it all in and take the notes. Right. But I'm looking across the way from you guys. And so I'm looking at you in the face and I'm looking at Chris in the face, and you guys are like sitting next to each other. Right. So I can see the visceral reactions, which is what I try to pay attention to when I'm taking notes for clients. So I'm not just listening to, she wants it on this day at this time and he hates DJs. I'm writing like
It's like he's excited about the girls with the cages, and I'm like, no.
Right. Which one day, I swear to you, and Laura, God bless you, it might be at your funeral, but I am going to have a girl with cages one day.
Marley, the only way we're going to do girls in cages is if it's a hologram and the girls can get out. Okay.
Cage free, just like eggs.
Cage free, just like eggs and chickens.
Cage free girls. I mean,
come on.
Maybe we could do a morph of that.
Or it's equal opportunity.
100. Well,
like
say
Studio
no
54 used to be.
Say no more. I mean, there's enough Argentines in that barn of yours that I will put in a cage all day long. All day long. Funny. So we collaborate, and I'm listening to both, but it's in the beginning, it's all love and rainbows, right? But then as it starts to go down the path a bit, it's like, I don't want to say reality sets in, but I think for everybody, because the first part of the process is like the intake process, where it's like a giant data dump, where I'm listening to both of you guys and like, okay, I've got the date, I've got the number of people, and probably I've gotten that from Laura ahead of time, but then I'm getting all okay, what are the other components, and Chris might say something like, the logistics of when we can set up. I don't know, like, oh, don't forget there's polo the next day, so all the props will have to be taken out that night, something like that. Mm-hmm. And then, and then you do the first pass, and then of course, you deliver the budget, which is, no matter what, is always like, oh, it's my least favorite part of anything. But then that starts to me, it's like you send the budget is like the shot across the bow. And then that's what really crystallizes things pretty quickly. I'm curious if you agree or disagree.
No, I think so. I mean, the ideas that we want, like, oh, we're going to take 100 people and go on a yacht and cruise the Caribbean, whatever. It's like, okay, what does that really cost? Or what does it really cost to have a top name entertainer come in? Right. Do we feel like we're going to get the bang for the buck?
Thank you. Bang for the buck. Mm-hmm. So the other interesting thing too about events or like experiences like what Laura's talking about, because to me, they all kind of go in the same bucket. Like if Laura says, I want to have 100 people in my backyard, that's one thing. But if she says, listen, I want to have 100 people take this cruise around whatever bay, that's another. But I think where it gets tricky, and maybe that's one of the hard parts of my job, is when there's information out there. For example, I'm going to take 100 friends on a day cruise. Let's pretend Gilligan's Island style, right? You're going to take it. And so it's like, oh, we have friends with boats. This should cost fill in the blank, right? We're going to feed them. We need a captain. We need this. And it's like that amount. But then what the budget and the logistics conversations do is break down and say, that's great. However, we're doing that off of, I'm making this up. I mean, I'm totally making it up, like a remote place. So therefore, we have to get set up the day before, or it's very elaborate setup. Or let's say if you're dealing with a club situation, as we have before,
right?
You have very strict rules about, we can start setting up on this day at this time, and every day, because of, let's say, the noise ordinance or whatever, we have to stop. And then it has to be cleaned up by this time because they're going to do, let's say, brunch the next day. And so it's all those components that start adding to the price. Or if you're going to do it on the yacht, it's like, okay, Laura, how's everybody going to get to the yacht, right? And then, by the way, don't forget we have to pay for parking. So then it becomes, because you can't just say, hey, come to my fabulous party, and oh, by the way, it's going to be $99.99 to park for the day. So it's like that kind of stuff. And then it's like, okay, well, let's just bus them in. They'll all park, I'm making this up, at Chris's office, and we'll just take the bus, and then we're not going to pay for parking. Well, then it's like, okay, now you have 9,000 Maseratis parked at Chris's office. Let's say, then you have a security thing. Like, it just goes on and on. It's like,
well, that's why you're really good at, spreadsheets.
Yeah.
And
I do like my spreadsheets.
Keeping organized.
Yeah.
Very impressed. Love that. It's just top notch. I mean, there's just no way to put it. I had a woman yesterday come up at Smoke Tree, right?
Yeah.
And she's like,
Palm Springs.
I have to tell you that, your menu for your party that chef did, whatever, was so good. I want to recreate that for our wedding.
Oh, well, best of luck, by the way. One note on this I don't think I will ever be going back to said country club again. I mean, these poor people, every aspect of the menu was like, and then this food is going to be served in this size ounce cup, which we will have delivered to this person by Thursday at noon, served with this beverage napkin. I mean, these people were like, I literally
it was
hate
really
you.
beyond what they normally.
Beyond, that's a very gracious way to say it. Okay, so the woman says to you, I want to recreate this menu. And did you tell her good luck or what did you say?
Chef brought her back and they made all the stuff and she tasted it. And I'm like, but you have to know that it was orchestrated by our party goddess. It was orchestrated every step and every detail. So good luck.
Because it was literally like, you will use this, I'm not exaggerating either, this type of spoon to serve. And it was like, well, how is this going to get served in a cup with a spoon? But what does the cup look like? And okay, great. Well, that means we're just now going to bring in all the stuff for the tiered this and that and the props and all that other stuff. Because the other thing that I think people don't understand with amazing events is it isn't like you have to serve caviar. Like people just think, oh, I'm going to serve
the tater tots
salmon. We were tater tot central. We had
the
donuts.
lobster was really good though.
Lobster was good. I'm not saying, it was budget. Okay. But I'm just saying that the concepts, we really were paying attention to what are people going to want to eat. Right. And one of the things is for the desserts, we had donuts. Okay. Well, my favorite is always when people who don't have parties all the time tell me what people will and won't eat. Oh, nobody's going to eat that. And I'm like, okay, yeah,
well,
sit down.
You have to,
right?
that's where your creative juice in.
Yeah, they will. But we created this entire truck.
Oh, are you kidding me? There are so many things that I'm like, are you sure about that?
Right. Everything was pretty much,
sure?
Are you sure about that? And I was like, yes, I am. And then sometimes I'd get off the phone and be like, oh, fricker, am I really that sure? Okay, I'm going to do a little more research, then I'm going to be really sure. But it boils down to, you can have donuts, but it's like a little bit like the emperor with no clothes. If you're going to have donuts, man, you better sell the freaking concept. So one of the parties that we did that Laura's talking about it was after this, the inspiration was Shag, this amazing artist. And he has all these different iconic Palm Springs things. And so one thing we did was this donut truck, right? And I'm telling you, I swear to you, people were freaking loading up on those damn donuts. Yeah. It was like, okay, man,
awesome.
Do you want a picnic basket to take back to your room? Like, I thought these people look like they haven't had a carb since 1992. And everybody is just so it's about having that theme, I think, right? And then carrying it through to the nth degree. But you got to be really confident about it, because if somebody winced and was like, donuts, you and Chris, I think, would have been like, well, then you can go. Like, if you don't get it, bye. I don't care. Right? The host and hostess have to really be on board. They can't just be like, I know, I kind of thought it was a dumb idea too, but I didn't want to tell her, or she insisted. You have to just be like laughing all the way. And at that, I think that party was literally one of my favorites, because Laura brought out of, pretty much without even knowing it, single-handedly brought an artist out of retirement. So would you like to discuss that, please?
My beloved.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. Well, do you want to tell a story?
Back in 2012, we tried to get him.
Yes.
And his rider was insane. And you just had to laugh, because it was beneath him to do a private birthday party. Right. It was just clearly not his gig, right?
Now, okay, so a rider is basically, whenever you've heard the
contract
jokes or movie, it's the equivalent of whenever you've heard people say, oh, J-Lo can't have green M&Ms in her room, or XYZ band needs to have, 6 types of water with, not only is it the list of technical requirements and the lighting requirements, it's also the list of all the other
proclivities. Yeah, like he wants, on Wednesdays, it's Jack and Coke, and Thursdays it's Tanqueray. It just so crazy.
It's so crazy. So in 2012, this artist we were talking to, and I said, because my philosophy is, dude, I'll get you anything you want. You'll be divorced by the time you're done with this, but I'll get you anything you want. So, we come back and the demands were, I shouldn't say demands. It was all free will. It was very involved. And at that time in 2012, it just did not, it was like, yeah, whatever. But we've been talking about this guy ever since 2012.
Right, because, he truly is. I love his music, and Chris does too.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Chris does too. So it's kind of like the Caged Girls. We've been talking about bringing this guy forever and ever and ever to one of your events. And it always kind of comes back to the same thing, like bang for the buck. Like, okay, listen, half the budget or more is going to go to this guy. Like, what do you think? And it's always like, okay. But it's still always in the background. So now fast forward that Chris and Laura's birthdays are close enough where you guys have joint birthday parties for the significant ones, right?
Yeah, right.
Okay. So we do this party at this country club in Palm Springs where I will never be able to go back. And we have...
Talk about train wrecks.
About train wrecks.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because
please.
the power went out.
That's right. The power went out. Now, mind you...
Right? Yeah.
Yes. And another exciting thing about the power going out was that I had been hammering, speaking of budget items, about having a generator. But a generator is extra cost, right? And then when everybody, not necessarily Laura and Chris, but when the world tells me, oh, yes, no problem, we have power. Yeah. I am always like, you can pound sand, okay? Because it's one thing to say you have power. It's another thing to power everything that has to go on. Remember, an event is like a 4-hour time period. So think of it like you are firing up all the jets of every aspect of that power grid. Talk about a surge. It's like washing the dishwasher and every appliance in LA when it's 120 degrees and everybody's air conditioning is going, right? So thank God we had our own generator because we could do whatever we want while the whole blasted place was out of power and people were sending hate grams to them. So Marley was right. But so we get to the party. Laura, now you have been told that there is one group, entertaining group, right? The Spasmatics.
Yes. They were great.
They were amazing.
They were so good.
So,
but the whole thing was a secret. Okay. I had no idea that Chris said, we need Pete.
Yes.
And so Chris made it happen. You got him out of retirement. I'm sure behind the scenes, you had to work your ass off to get...
Yeah, it went to the ex-boyfriend who I'm not so sure was thrilled to hear from me. And his brother was the guy's agent. And when I found that, I'm like, you are kidding me right now. This is karma on a new level. So it's like, hi, could you please? And then it was like, okay, this is going to be the fee. And he's in retirement and everything else. And I'm like, he needs to get out of retirement.
Well, he was in a little bit of a funk because of COVID and all of that stuff. Yeah.
But so then the husband and I conspire and, he and I are having these conversations. And now remember, you guys, because it's pretty transparent over there. So it's not like Laura's not seeing the budget and Chris and they're amazing.
No, I didn't really see the budget after a while. I mean, I don't know how you kept it all on the down low.
But anytime there was kind of anything that had to come up, I had to be prepared with two budgets, right? One is what it really is. And one is, well, God, what if Laura says it anyway? So then I'm saying to Chris at one point, dude, I cannot believe she is forget about all this other stuff. She's one of my best friends. He's like, it'll be worth it in the end. I was like, oh God. Because I was like, I'm totally 100% lying to my friend. Okay. So then.
All for a good cause.
That's what he was like. It's all for good. Like, I know, but I am like, what if later she thinks, oh my God, that girl was such a good liar. She could lie about anything. I don't know. I was just really traumatized. Liar, okay? I was traumatized by that part. Oh God. Okay. So then this is literally one of my top moments of my entire career. So we're all out there dancing. The Spasmatics are playing. It's great. Blah, blah, blah. Now you have to walk us through this piece because this was
remember, Spasmatics were after.
Wait.
So
who is?
Oh, there were the twirling.
Oh my God, the fire.
Oh my
girls.
God, the dancers, right?
Yes.
So they're out on the stage, and I'm like, So I was really concerned about the background music and everything, remember? And I was like, okay,
oh my God, I totally forgot about
there's a lull.
Right.
I'm like really feeling a little nervous right now. There's a lull. Right. And I said to Chris, there's a lull.
Yeah. Okay. And like, hopefully he said, you can pound sandwich.
Just relax. It's going to be fine. Everybody's having a good time. Just relax. And I'm like, there's a lull. And then I turn around and Pete Yorn and his band is on the stage. And I just was 1,000% surprised, like had no clue, even though he had been warming up earlier.
That's the best part, is doing all these, these people to do the warm ups and everything. And I'm like, oh my God, can this girl go shopping? Can she go somewhere? Because he's got to warm up and test the sound, meaning people can hear it.
It was really exciting. It was highlight for sure.
But the look on your face, it was genuinely the best. Like, sometimes it's hard to explain to people, but I try to, like when they say, why do I do what I do or whatever? And part of it, if you can say it like when you're with respect to your kids, right? You can say like, if your kids are happy, like you're happy. Better.
You're only as happy as your saddest
your saddest child. Right. But if your kids are happy, it's like, you wouldn't need anything good like that to happen to you. You're just so happy. And I remember at that moment, just literally seeing you so happy. And then Chris being so happy because, he knew you was going to be so happy, but that it was just like, that carried me for a long time.
Yeah, I know. I always think if I ever have a sad, thing, I think about that moment of time. Right. And it just resonates in me. It's so cool.
It was because it was really magic. It was you being surprised, us having been talking, it's like when you're talking about something, they were talking about it for a decade, having this guy, right? Mm-hmm. And then it's a surprise and everybody's caught off guard. But I think the other thing too, for me, was just watching how happy Chris was to make you happy. Like that's the other part of it, that you just kind of get to be a voyeur and you're just, and then everybody at the party, because then they're like, wait, what's the story? And then,
well, I don't, like a lot of people don't know him. It's not like he's a mainstream huge artist. So it was interesting to have that too. So
and they're like, wait, what? And then it's kind of like, it starts feeding through the
if they're
party.
Cool,
like,
they know him.
Right. But then when they got the story, then they were like, oh my gosh, because then they were like, wait, what? And then I just remember even the brunch the next day, it was just the buzz. And it was so fun because it was all of these people. And there were a lot of people at that party, but you felt like every single one was handpicked to be, well, they were handpicked to be there, but everybody, quote, got it, right?
We should have invited more people. It makes it like going back to who you invited, how you want your party to go. I think because we have a wide variety of friends, that makes it interesting.
And that's so important because so many times people get really self-conscious about who they're going to invite, or they're like, it needs to be, all people that are like, kind of CEOs, or like, it can't be the, the nouveau riche guy who just married the porn star. We can't invite. And I'm like, no, that's exactly who you want there. Nobody understands that. And I'm like, that is so important. And it goes from this advice my mom gave me. She wasn't even advice she gave me. She just would tell me about these stories because my mom went to college in Washington, D.C. And she would always say the best Washington parties were the ones that had everybody, whether it was the senator and all that kind of stuff. But then it had the guy that was the valet at 1789 or something, where it was just this real cross or, mix of people, because you never know who's going to get along with whom. And that's that energy that you cannot manufacture. You cannot manufacture it. And I have learned over and over and over again that you cannot ever predict who is going to hit it off with whom. And in your case, you've got grooms and you've got
pros, CEOs,
and then the highest, literally highest billionaire level
Mm-hmm.
down to, I think they're, like bunking it on some other trainer's, couch. But it's the best time. Maybe because the ones who, they've got nothing to lose. So they are showing up and dressed up as, Batman and Spider-Man or something, or in wigs, or having the best time.
Yeah.
But I remember one party that we had where it was like this guy was like a 75-year-old, one of the top lawyers. If I said his clients, you guys would all know. I won't. And he was talking to somebody, I kid you not, this person didn't have 10 cents to rub together. And I was just fascinated. It was a party I had, and I was just fascinated that they were getting along so well. And I could not figure out what they were talking about. I still don't know what they were talking about. But all I know is at the end, the guy was like, that was a really great guy. And I just thought, it's so true. It's all about that mix. And if you foster that atmosphere, it will all work out.
That's right. I mean, I think, we're lucky because Chris and I both have hobbies that have people that maybe you wouldn't normally come in contact with.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
So, the horse world is it's a world on its own, but it makes it really.
Let's talk a little bit about the horse world. We don't have to name names.
Okay.
But let's talk a little bit about the horse world and the patrons. Because again, to me, the easiest thing is you just watch that whole deal. And I really don't even understand why that was panned so much. People were like, oh, Meghan Markle and Prince Harry only made a cameo. I'm like, well, to me, it wasn't even really about them. It was.
Yeah, they were the producers or whatever, but
they're the producers. Okay.
Yeah. I mean,
how much of that happens, do you think?
Oh, I think it's pretty, the one main guy, the one patron that is a big D-bag. I mean, honestly, like how embarrassing.
Yeah.
But then when probably like episode 4, I think it started turning to putting the focus on the pros.
Right.
And that's where you could really see the athleticism. You could see more about the game. The drone shots were better. And then you could see how, dangerous it is. The one gentleman got, hurt. He's still, unfortunately not doing great.
Not?
No, unfortunately. Wow. I don't know. But it is, I think what makes the polo world is so different is because it costs a lot of money to do it. The horses are incredible athletes themselves. And then you have all the support staff that has to be part of it. So it makes a really diverse group of people. Wellington is a whole other thing. That's not our gig. Our gig is more down home and stuff. But
I'm not sure I would say down home, but okay.
Now it is.
All right, anyway.
San Diego days were amazing. It was so fun.
But then, so you've got the structure, right? Which is the patrons and the players and the sponsors.
Well, sorry, the patrons and the pros.
Sponsors and the pros and the players, and then everybody that kind of supports the whole horse piece. But then you have the other side, which are all the spectators and everybody drawn to it.
Right.
Because of it's the equivalent of I'm going to go find my own hot husband, right?
Well, yes. It's also a good spectator game.
Okay. Yes. It is, number one, absolutely a good spectator game.
Champagne and, looking for.
Okay. So let's say I'm a gold digger and I am looking for the next husband and I don't have, I've got a 500 credit score of my own and I'm going to go to polo, right? Because I'm going to find a hot guy who, in my mind, I'm thinking he's going to have money, right? And I can hang out with all these other people who have money. And oh, by the way, it's cool to watch. But you think a lot of these women or hangers on are going because they just, are all about the chuckers? I mean, you tell me.
It's so.
I mean, if there's no money and there's no money and nobody was hot, do you think people are going to go? That's the reason why curling isn't particularly.
Or dressage. Can we just talk about dressage for a minute? I mean, how boring is that to watch?
No. It's not. Not when you're dressaging. Yeah. But, okay, so let's talk about the crowd component, right?
Okay.
There are people that are going there.
Absolutely.
Agree of the whole thing.
Yeah. I mean, for sure.
Okay. And do we know any success stories of anybody who has bagged a husband? We know some bagging for sure that has happened, but I'm not sure.
Yeah. I don't really think so. I mean, first of all, Argentines are not going to ever seriously be in a relationship with an American. So women don't know that. They're like, oh yeah, we'll play around and that's good, but they're never going to be serious. They have a chica at home back in Argentina, and that's going to be the path.
Yeah. And so let's talk a little bit about how the worlds intersect a bit. So let's say you and Chris are going to go watch polo in Santa Barbara. Is the Santa Barbara community, would they be like, oh yeah, welcoming and it's that small of a world? Or?
For us, yeah, because we'll be hanging out with the pros and not with the people that are there for the show.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah, we're behind the stage. We would rather, it's not to say that some of the other patrons aren't interesting. There's a lot of interesting people, but over the years, we gravitate towards the people who are actually full of horsehair and sweat. Yeah. It's not that we can't dress up and whatever. We can.
But they're the cool, fun.
We're like, wow, I'd rather talk to that guy or the wife of the pro rather than the wife of the patron. Yeah. It just, not that it's a hard all end all, but it kind of, I don't know. I think that's just who we are.
So you would connect, let's say you want to go to Santa Barbara and watch the polo and stuff.
So we'd be calling the, hey, we're going to come and we'll sit fieldside with you rather than being in the tent and drink champagne. But you could also do that too.
Okay, so let's say you go, we're going to sit fieldside by you guys because you want to talk horses and do stuff. But then, I'm making this up, but Chris has to bring a client or I don't know, something, whatever.
Yeah, sure. We'll have, if we have friends up there, we'll be like, okay, we'll get a table and yeah, we could do that too.
Would that level of community be fun for you? Or would you be sitting there going, okay, I don't know any of these people? Or would it be like fun because you would know some of the people involved in the stands?
In the stands?
Well, not so much in the stands, but you know what I mean? Like in the patron level, like let's say the other patrons are there and their wives and their friends and stuff like that. Would you only want to show up and kind of bring your own little mobile party unit, or would
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what, in San Diego days, that's what I would do. I'd be like, I just felt like I was a fish out of water. Yeah. So, and he'd be playing and all that stuff and be there, have the kids and stuff. And I'd be like, I need my own friends. So I would bring, Sean Cadell, the Prince of Cardiff, and, just have a bunch of people that were just my friends that I could hang with. Mm-hmm.
Right. So how different do you think is the polo world in Florida that we saw on that
Really
show?
Different.
In what ways?
There's a level of money that's way different in Florida.
Really? And why?
So expensive. It's so amazing. I don't know why. And the level of play is different too. So there's 22 goal versus like right now in the desert, for example. So there's 2 polo clubs going on right now. There's Indio, Thermal, right? Yeah. In the desert, and then Wellington. And one is 12 goal and the other is like 20 goal.
Okay.
And by that, those are the handicap. That's the level of play. Mm-hmm. So when it goes, you start out as a -2 and the handicap ratings go to 10. The handicap rating determines what level it's going to be. So, for example, if you have a 20 goal league, all 4 players have to equal 20. So you're going to have a 7 goaler, you're going to have a 3 goaler, et cetera. So that makes a big difference in terms of how much you have to pay your pro and how much it costs just to be there.
Meaning it's more expensive in Florida. Or no?
More expensive in Florida, sure.
But wait, so it's more expensive in Florida because they don't have the 20 goal situation?
They have a higher, they have the higher level of game.
Got it.
The league is higher. So all the big, the 8 goalers, the 10 goalers.
Right. Are going to head there.
They're going to be there. Yeah. That's where their jobs
What
are.
about the Hamptons? Where does the Hamptons rate in terms of like Florida versus California?
That's a summer club.
So
It's
more
not
just kind of.
It's not the big scenes. So there are a couple good clubs around in the country, but Santa Barbara is a great summer club. And then there's some other ones too, but the Hamptons, there's one upstate New York.
And is
I think
that,
they more do like celebrity matches.
yeah, like fundraisers and see and be seen kind of thing.
Right.
And you guys are like real horse racers.
We're what?
You're real like horse racing, not horse racing, like around the circles, but like the real deal of you guys are playing, you can play all year. You're playing not just to raise money or not just to show off. You're like playing because you want to play polo.
Yeah. Right?
Got it. Okay. So what else? Any other tips and tricks on planning parties, throwing parties, parting shots to Pilates instructors who try to steal hot husbands? Talk to me.
Well, I wanted to broach this subject with you.
Yeah.
Your podcast name. Are you going to stick with Every Day is a Train Wreck?
Okay. Because I've had some train wrecks. Okay,
yes. And I'm just a little concerned about this whole manifestation that you are doing. And I'm concerned about you.
Which is hilarious because I have another book that's coming out. And of course, got slightly delayed due to this latest horseback riding situation. But did I tell you the part about how I was going, so Laura knows my trainer, Sarabelle, and how we were going around, and Sarabelle and I were discussing when in January we were going to Denmark and Germany to pick the next horse, the Icelandic. Did I tell you that?
Yes.
And I was on the horse? Yeah, okay. So then, promptly for the first time ever, he took off and I got tossed, etc. But the whole point of bringing the book into it is that week or the week before, we had changed the title of the new book coming out from Whatever You Do, Don't Do This. It was changed. That was like kind of our working title to Epic Faceplants. And of course, then I face planted. So ever since then,
you don't understand how much power you have.
And you know what's frightening is that I literally face planted, broke my helmet, everything. So here's my full thoughts about that. I am a little bit Tabitha with the witch that has come from my, as you know very well, my near-death experience and having one foot on one side and one foot on the other. That's a whole other podcast, which we'd be happy to talk about. But I have realized more and more that it is like I am manifesting these things. So then I need to ask Viola to the crystal girl because there are ways. It's just like naming a horse or renaming a horse and all these things that are supposedly bad juju, right? There are ways, around it, like, can clear the space, or maybe I put a subline below Every Day's a Face Plant. Every Day's a Train Wreck, but it turns, golden tracks. I don't know. Or some intention that I do or something, because yes, I do manifest that. And yes, you should be worried. Notice I am sitting upright, though. This is good news.
This is good news. So your back is feeling better.
My back is feeling better for like 3 or 4 days because I started physical therapy.
Well, that's a good start.
Great. There we go. Exactly.
Okay. So
we will.
Your manifestation powers are very strong, my friend.
Very, very strong.
And it's not that I love Every Day is a Train Wreck. I think it's really fun and perfect.
Yes. Yeah, we got it. We need a shaman.
Do you have any ideas?
What my ideas is to go the path of, hey, Viola Reiki master, can you and your Italian witches, refunnel, remaster?
Okay. Yes. But you have to think of what you want, right? How about like cross out train or train wreck and put Every Day is an opportunity or something?
Yes.
Every day is an opportunity.
Yes.
Something more positive.
Yes. I think that's good advice from our guest, Laura Maloney. It is great advice and it's not lost on me. And I absolutely believe in goal setting and intentions and all that stuff. And lately, even more, or as much as my highest levels of doing that stuff, it's been on my mind. So,
well, I think that would be a really namaste. Good idea.
Okay, thank you. I love that.
Yes.
And I want to thank you so much for your time and spilling the dirt on polo and what it takes to have a great event and how you two can feng shui your office to get it
I think we went
sold.
around the world.
As usual, which
As
by the
usual.
way, that's what makes a great podcast.
You're the best.
Oh, you're the best. So on that note, everybody, thank you so much for listening to another episode of Every Day's a Trainwreck with your conductress, Marley Major. And if you haven't already, please follow the show, rate it 5 stars if you're so inclined, leave a comment, maybe even more importantly, tell a friend. So signing off on that, Laura. Thank you. It's been so fun. And we will do it again.
Love you, girl.